Hello, bros. We're back with Mara from Be Angry at the Sun and Other Poems by Robinson Jeffers. 3. Fawn awoke before daylight. The bed was empty beside her. She heard low voices through the open window and went and looked down. Bruce and Alan. Bruce mounted already on the buckskin colt, Alan not dressed yet. Only trousers and boots and his shirt in his hand, so that Fern saw the beautiful triangle of his back, narrowing from the shoulders to the loins, warm ivory, the only warmth in the world, and she felt herself tremble, so that she dared not call to them. They laughed and parted. Then Fawn called, "Bruce!" He raised his long, powerful face, that looked like a ship's prow, but being already some distance away, said nothing, but waved his hand and rode out of sight, up the canyon side trail, under the vast dawn-troubled sky and the morning star, while Alan returned to the house, and in a moment came and lightly tapped at Fawn's door. She ran and half opened it. "Where's he going, dearest?" "Why?" he said. "Nothing." "What's the matter, Fawn?" "Conscience. Conscience, probably," she answered, "if any." He entered the room. She said, "Don't touch me, and don't wake Joy." Looking toward the small bed in the dark corner of the room, "What did he say?" "I know he thinks about us," Alan said. "Let me tell you what he was saying. He said you're looking pale with being too much in the house. He wants you to ride again, the way you used to. We're to fetch lunch along and help him drive up the yearlings." "What is it, a trap?" she whispered. "Ought he'd have waited and ridden with us. Let me tell you something. There is no snake in all the mountains so ugly and treacherous as you are, Alan. Except me, what has happened to the world to make us liars, cheats, and cowards? And as hollow in here as dry weeds stalks." She turned from him to the window and stood looking out, her slender body and sleep-tossed mane and beautiful bare arms and shoulders dark outlined on the rectangular dawn gleam. He said, "I know we're damned, I suppose, but what else can we do? Wait. We'll manage sometime to make this clean. Now get dressed, dear. I'll make a fire and fetch the horses." He was leaving the room, and she said, "You ought to get out of here and never come back. Only I'd die." She ran and caught him by the arm. "Come back. Dear love, forgive me." He, embracing her, felt with renewed wonder the firm and smooth littleness of her sweet body. But when he kissed her, she violently pushed him off. "You beast, let me alone. If we ever here in this house, I'll kill myself." And again, blindly, she reached for him and babbled, "I can't bear. Oh, Alan, why has he done this to us? Maybe he'll come back and kill us like coupling rattlesnakes." But he, a mile east, rode toward the pasture, thinking, Why do I have that slimy dream? Because Clyde Monahan's bitch put it in my mind. But why was I ready to listen to Monahan's bitch? Because there've been hints before. And spend the night with her. That seems like an odd wording. Because there's been hints before. And spend the night with her. Sam Barrett's leavings, Monahan's bitch. Why? For variety. Like an idiot. Pick up a clod of cow dung, being tired of gold. No wonder the envious droppings tried to make pure gold look dirty as herself. Pure gold, I mean Fawn's natural beauty. There are no standards. How can we say, this is bad, this is good, when we know nothing about it, having no standards nor faith to judge by? Like flies in a vacuum. And who will prove that chastity is better than commonness? And for what reason? Because we've been taught to think so. But who taught us? Tradition, old people, people more ignorant than we. Away back to the howling tribesmen, the jealous god and his witch doctors. At least I canceled the effect. I trust them perfectly. A man spying on his wife and his brother would be too low to live. He smelled the wet delight of the dawn wind dropping down the deep canyon to the dark sea, and saw the pearl-tender rose flood lining high distant ridges. while still deep night slept in the canyon trough. 1,000 feet down under the shoulder of his horse, he felt a fountain of hysterical sadness flow up behind his breastbone through the net of nerves. This is so beautiful. We are so damned. What good is a man living, working, eating, making love, dying, and leaving a child or two to live, work, eat, and drink, and make love and die, and so on forever? What good is that? Either we are animals, he thought, clever in some ways, degenerate in others, and follow instinct, or else we are something else and ought to do otherwise. There's something false in it, and if a voice would come from behind all this color, space, fragrance, power, we'd not hear, or the voice be a liar. I shot an eagle once, and looked at the gorgeous corpse, ruffled the plumes, and saw the lice under them. We, the white lice on this eagle world. I don't make a good louse. I lack contentment. One ought to be satisfied with the warm grease under the stormy feathers flying through thunder. Shut eyes and suck. He opened the gate and began gathering his herd toward the high fence corner. Hard work for a man riding alone. His mount had a lathered hide, bloody flanks, trembling knees. After an hour on that steep range, Ferguson let it breathe a little, and looking down the long cataract of rock-set ridges and their blue shadows pouring to sea level from the new-risen sun, saw Fawn and Allen, small, clear, and distant, riding up from the west, along the lip of the canyon, above the blue mist and hollow shadow that brimmed its gorge. And that's all for part 3.